Welcome back, everyone. If you're watching from a quiet living room somewhere, maybe with the TV talking in the background more than any person does, this conversation is for you.
Last Sunday, my daughter cut me off at dinner and said, "Mama, nobody wants to hear about that. It's depressing." She was talking about my story, about how I came to this country. Everybody heard it, and nobody stopped her. I went home that night, opened my closet, looked at my photo album, and put it back. Then on Tuesday, I was standing over a pot of caldo in my little kitchen, and I thought, maybe I really am too foreign for my own family. That was Tuesday. Just Tuesday. No yelling, no big fight, nothing anybody else would call a crisis. Just me, soup on the stove, steam on the window, spoon in my hand. My kitchen is tiny. 2 steps one way, there's the sink. 2 steps the other way, there's the stove. But when soup is boiling, the room feels different for a minute. Less empty. I thought about my daughter's house. My granddaughter used to love this soup when she was little. She used to stand on a chair by the counter and say, "Abuela, can I taste?" So I called. I always call first. I don't just show up. And my daughter said, "Oh, we already ate. Maybe another day." Then she said, "Mom, you should text next time. We're busy." That was it. But I stood there with the spoon in my hand and the burner still on. And suddenly the soup felt foolish. Like I was foolish for trying. Sometimes that's the part that hurts most. Trying to bring love to somebody and then standing there in your kitchen feeling embarrassed for it.
Yeah.
After my husband died, I couldn't keep the place we had. Rent went up. Everything went up. So now I live in a cramped apartment in Los Angeles with a roommate. She's a decent woman, but decent and family are not the same thing. At night, I turn the TV on. It's before I even take my shoes off. Not because I care what's on. I just can't always stand the quiet right away. Sometimes I talk to the TV. Little things. Don't trust him. She shouldn't go back. That boy is lying. Then I catch myself and think, Anna, you are talking to the TV again. I've been in this country almost 50 years. I worked here, I raised children here, I paid bills here, I buried my husband here. And still, lately, I feel like I move through my own family with something written on me. Too much, too old, too foreign, too slow.
If that kind of quiet has been living in your house too, stay with us. Anna, where do you feel that most?
At their table, in the language, in the way the room changes when I start talking too long. My grandchildren answer in English, even when they understood me in Spanish. My grandson corrects my words in front of people. My children talk about senior housing and services like they're just being practical. And I sit there thinking, I did not cross a border and build a life just to end up feeling like something people are trying to manage.
When you get home at night and it all catching up with you, what's the sentence that comes?
That I came all this way, and I still don't belong.
Take me back to a place where you did.
The table, that's the first thing. Too many people, too much noise, somebody always laughing too loud, somebody always arriving late, somebody always tearing tortillas and telling a story at the same time. That was home. Not quiet, not neat, not organized. Home was move over, sit down, eat. My grandmother was at the center of that feeling. I can still see her. Apron on, hands warm from the stove, dish towel over one shoulder. If I started telling some long little girl story and everybody else got distracted, she would pull out the chair beside her, pat it, and say, "Finish, Mija, I'm listening." She'd still be flipping tortillas or wiping her hands on the towel, but she'd stay with you. That stays with me. I think that is how I learned what love feels like. Listening first. Even now, when somebody lets me finish, it feels like they are saying, "You still belong here." I remember the sounds of that house too. A radio too loud in the next room, somebody clapping to music, my aunt laughing from the kitchen, my grandmother saying, "Eat before it gets cold." And the smells. Coffee in the morning, beans, cinnamon, orange blossoms outside, dust when the front door opened. I didn't know those things were getting stored in me. I just thought that was life. But I learned something else in that house too. Women were supposed to be strong, but easy, helpful, but not heavy. My father used to say, "Don't make a scene." He was not cruel. He worked hard. He was tired a lot. But that sentence got deep inside me. Don't make a scene. Don't ask for too much. Don't become the difficult one. So I learned to swallow things. I learned that love looked like doing. Cooking, cleaning, watching children, making things easier, knowing what somebody needed before they asked. That kind of love is real. But after enough years, people stop noticing the person and only notice the help.
When America first showed up as an idea, what did it sound like?
Steady, that's the word. Not glamorous, not some movie dream, just steady. My husband was not my husband yet then. He said there was work. He said maybe we could build something better. And when your life feels narrow, steady sounds beautiful. I was 22, maybe 23. Young enough to move, old enough to be scared. I was the kind of girl who looked calm and worried all the time inside, like I was carrying a tray full of glasses and trying not to breathe too hard.
What did those first years here do to you?
They made me useful. That's the cleanest way to say it. Yeah. Useful. We came to Los Angeles and stayed on a cousin's couch for a while. Two adults trying to act grateful and invisible at the same time. My English was almost nothing. Hello, thank you, sorry. Sorry became my shield. Sorry if I didn't understand. Sorry if I needed help. Sorry if I said it wrong. After a while, you start feeling apologetic before anybody even asks you anything. I worked wherever I could. Cleaning, sewing, factory work. Then I became a mother in all of that, and motherhood made me more useful. Lunches, homework, uniforms, doctor visits, school forms, learning enough English to get through one more office, one more meeting, one more phone call. I used to practice sentences at the sink before school meetings. One time I was trying to tell a teacher, "My daughter is shy, but she is smart." I had practiced it all day. Then I got there and said it wrong enough that the teacher gave me that polite, confused smile. And my daughter tugged my sleeve and whispered, "Mom, stop, you're embarrassing me." She was a child, I know that, but it still went into me. Speak less, risk less, take up less room. I also learned this country through errands, through bus stops, through grocery stores where I stood in front of labels too long, pretending I was deciding, when really I was translating in my head. I learned which cashier was patient, which receptionist would repeat herself without the face changing, which nurse would talk slower without talking down to me. That kind of learning does not make you feel brave, it makes you feel tired. People say immigrants are strong, and maybe that is true. But a lot of that strength is just repetition. You keep going back into places that make you feel small until your body learns how to do it without shaking so much. And when my children got older, I think I hid too much from them. Not because I wanted distance, because I wanted them to feel free. I did not want them carrying my fear on top of everything else. So they saw the lunches, the clean clothes, the rides, the food. They saw the parts of motherhood that looked solid. They did not always see the woman standing in the kitchen after everybody left, replaying a conversation in English and wondering if she sounded foolish. That happens after years of wanting your children to feel American in all the easy ways. You hand them the smoothness you never had, and one day they move through the world so easily that they do not notice how hard you had to work for every inch of that ease. I don't blame them for all of it. Some of it is just life. Children are supposed to move outward. But there is a difference between moving outward and looking back. That is the part I miss. Not being needed every second. Just being remembered as a whole person. Later, when my grandchildren were little, I became useful in a sweeter way. That was one of the happiest parts of my life. They ran to me. They hugged my legs. They wanted my food. They wanted my stories. I would show up, and suddenly the house would make sense to me again. There were little shoes by the door, crayons on the table, a half-finished cartoon somewhere in the background. Somebody always needing a napkin, a snack, a blanket, a kiss on the forehead. I knew what to do in that kind of world. Little children do not care if your accent is perfect. They care if your hands are warm. They care if you remember how they like their soup. They care if you know the song that calms them down.
Yeah.
In those years, I felt needed in a way that softened a lot of old hurts. But children grow up, and once they stop needing my hands, I think my family stopped knowing what to do with the rest of me. That was the part nobody warned you about. When they stop needing your hands, they don't always know what to do with the rest of you. I was useful. Then little by little, I became extra. My grandson asked once about where I grew up for school. I started telling him about my village, the music, the feast days, the way everybody cooked together. And he said, joking, "Grandma, you talk too much." Everybody laughed. I know he was joking. But I was trying to hand him roots, and he treated it like noise. My granddaughter used to sit in the kitchen with me when she was little. When she got older, there were days she barely looked up from her phone. That's normal, I know it is, but normal can still hurt. Then my husband died, and that moved me from useful to vulnerable fast. He handled bills, forms, letters, the outside English world better than I did. When he died, the world got louder and I got smaller. And that word burden started living in my chest. I hate that word. But once it gets in there, everything starts leaning in that direction. You need a ride and you feel it. You don't understand a form and you feel it. Somebody sounds rushed with you and you feel it. A child answers too fast and you feel it. So by the time that dinner happened, I was already standing on years of swallowed needs. That dinner didn't invent the pain. It named it.
Take me to the dinner.
My daughter's house. Sunday dinner. Bright kitchen. White counters. Strong lights. Everything clean. Everything quick. I came early, like I always do. I brought rice, beans, chicken, salsa. That is still how I know how to arrive with love. Something in my hands. My grandson and granddaughter were on their phones. My son-in-law had the game on low in the other room. My daughter was moving fast. Fridge door, oven, counter, sink, watch, back again. She was stressed. And when other people are stressed, I have an old reflex. I get smaller. We sat down. My grandson said something about immigration because of school. Not about me exactly, about the subject. And I thought, maybe this is a chance. So I started telling the story. I said I was young. I said I was scared. I said I remember how cold it felt and how hard I was holding my husband's hand and the dust and the dark and the whispering. At first, the table got quiet. Not warm quiet, polite quiet. The kind that makes you feel people are waiting to be done. Because I thought maybe it mattered. Maybe somebody needed to hear that this family did not begin in a textbook. It began with fear and hope and walking in the dark. Then my daughter said, "Mama, nobody wants to hear about that. It's depressing." There was this tiny pause after she said it. Not long, just long enough for me to think maybe somebody would say, "No, let her talk." I remember looking up for 1 second, waiting to see if anybody's face would change. Nobody did. Then she turned to my granddaughter and said, "So, what about your college applications?" Just like that, like she changed the channel. My chest got tight, my ears got hot. I looked down at my plate because I could not look at anybody else. My grandson laughed a little. My granddaughter rolled her eyes. My son-in-law kept eating. And I did what I've done too many times in my life. I smiled, I got up, I started clearing plates, I turned into hands again. Later, when dinner was winding down, my daughter was putting leftovers into plastic containers. The fridge light kept coming on and off on her face. I was at the sink rinsing plates. My hands were wet. I could smell dish soap. And she said, "Casual, Mom, about your appointments. I can't keep driving you. You need services for that." I kept rinsing the same fork while she said it, like I could wash the moment off it. That word went through me. What kind of problem could we solve for you? Because a service can do the task. A service can pick you up, drop you off, fill the slot. But a service doesn't know what it costs you to grow old here. A service doesn't know your fear. A service doesn't know your life. And what I heard in that moment was, your need belongs somewhere else now, not here. I wanted to say, my story is not depressing. It is the reason we are here. I wanted to say, I do not need you to solve my whole life. I need you to see me while I am still here. I wanted to say, I carried this family in my hands for years. But I didn't say any of it. I smiled again and said, "Okay, Maja, I'll figure it out." Then I drove home. Freeway lights, radio on. I heard nothing. Depressing. Services. Those 2 words were stuck in my teeth the whole way back. By the time I got to my building, my hands were shaking a little. The hallway light buzzed. I unlocked the door. My roommate was asleep. The apartment was quiet. I turned on 1 lamp. Yellow light. Tired light. I sat on the bed with my shoes still on. Then I went to the closet and pulled out my photo album. Mexico. My husband young. My children little. The early years here. I looked at it. Then I put it back, I shut the closet door, and I thought, if my own family does not want this story, who will? That was the break, not only what they said, what I started believing because of it, that maybe I really was too foreign, even for them.
You were telling them where this family began. And they couldn't stay with it. What did you do with that?
At first, not much, that's the truth. I took the brochure from the clinic home and left it on my table for days. I looked at it, then I walked away, I picked it up, then I put it down. Part of me wanted it. Part of me was embarrassed that I needed it. A Latin senior center, story circle, coffee, walking group. It sounded nice. It also sounded like admitting I was old and lonely. And there is shame in that, even now. Finally, I called. I almost hung up before anyone answered. A woman picked up in Spanish, warm voice. She said, "Come Thursday, we have coffee, we have story circle." I said, "Okay." Then Thursday came, and I almost didn't go. I put on lipstick, took it off, put it on again. I stood outside the building for a minute before I went in. I almost turned around and went home. Because once you have felt rejected enough times, you start expecting it in every new room. But I went in. It was not fancy. Plastic chairs, coffee, sweet bread, old music, loud voices, and it felt good right away. Not magical, just familiar in the body. Story circle started. I didn't talk at first. I listened the whole first half because speaking still felt too big. A man talked about field work. A woman talked about her first factory job. Another woman talked about her husband dying and how quiet her apartment got after that. Nobody rushed anybody. That alone did something to me. Then they asked if I wanted to share. My throat closed up a little, and I cried. Not big, just enough. And nobody treated me like I had brought the mood down. Somebody handed me a napkin like it was normal. I said, "My name is Ana. I'm from Michoacan." A woman across from me smiled and said her mother was from there. That night, I still went home and cried. Not because the day was bad, because it had been a long time since I felt seen, and that hurt too. The next morning, I woke up feeling strange. Lighter in one part of me, heavier in another. I almost talked myself out of going back the next week. That is the part people do not always understand about healing. You can want it and still resist it. You can be helped by something and still feel shy going back toward it. Part of me kept saying, don't get carried away. Don't make too much of this. Don't act like one good room means your life is changing. That old voice was still there. So I moved through the weeks slowly. I looked at the brochure again. I looked at the bus times. I almost decided not to go. Then Thursday came and I found myself putting on lipstick anyway. I think that was the beginning of something. Not courage exactly, more like willingness. A small willingness to stop abandoning myself before other people had the chance to. And once I saw that in myself, I started noticing other things too. The way my body relaxed when nobody interrupted me. The way I rushed less when I was not afraid of being a burden. That mattered, because up to that point, pain had been louder than anything else. Now something else had started speaking too, not loudly, but enough. After that, my apartment was still hard at night. I still went home to the same room, the same TV, the same quiet. But the quiet was not as sharp, because now it wasn't the whole world. I had somewhere else my voice could go. I started walking too, 10 minutes around the block, not for fitness, for dignity. Then I texted my daughter. Hi, Mija. Could you help me with the paratransit form Thursday night? Just 20 minutes. I'll bring the papers. Love you. I rewrote it several times. I was scared she would say no and all the hurt would come rushing back. But she said yes. And we sat at her kitchen table, laptop open, kids upstairs. She helped me. Not beautifully, not warmly, just she helped me. At one point she said, "Mom, I need you to tell me exactly what you need." That hurt a little. But it also told me something true. She is not reading my silence. She is reacting to what I actually say. That does not erase the wound, but it gives me something to work with. Then came another Sunday dinner. I nearly didn't go. Then I thought, if it goes bad, I can leave. That thought was new. I did not go early to help. I did not bring a big dish. I came on time. At dinner, my daughter started talking over me out of habit. My whole body wanted to do the old thing. Smile, stop, get small. Instead, I said, quietly, let me finish. My voice shook, but I said it. She stopped, looked surprised. Then she said, okay, sorry. And I finished. It was just a small story about my grandmother making tortillas. Nothing big. But for that minute, I did not disappear. On the drive home, I changed my mind about myself 3 times. First, I felt proud. Then I felt rude. Then I felt proud again. That is what change feels like sometimes. Mixed. I started writing at night too. 3 lines. One thing I did. One thing that hurt. One thing I was grateful for. And I recorded my story on my phone. A voice memo for my grandchildren. Not because I think they'll sit down tonight and listen to every minute. Maybe they will later. Maybe not. But I wanted the story to exist outside my own chest. I told the truth. The cold, the fear, the hand I held, the hope. Then I made a folder and called it My Story. And one small thing changed at home too. I do not put the album away so fast anymore. Sometimes I leave it out on the table. Sometimes I look at one page and let it stay there. And I still make the soup. I still make it. I just don't feel ashamed of it the same way. I also said no once. My daughter texted last minute asking me to babysit. I had story circle that day. Usually I would have canceled my own life without thinking. Instead I wrote, I can't today. I can do Saturday for 2 hours. Then I felt guilty for an hour. Then she said okay. and the world did not end. Later, after we finished the paratransit form, I told her, "When you said my story was depressing, that hurt me." I didn't give a speech, I just said it. She got quiet, then she said, "Yeah, I know, sorry," and she looked back at the screen. That is important, because it was something. But it was not everything. It did not heal me. It was a small repair. Real life is full of small repairs. That is where I am now. After a few weeks, the center stopped feeling like a place I was trying out and started feeling like part of my week. That matters. There is something healing about having somewhere to be that is not built around somebody else's emergency. On Thursdays, I started planning around Story Circle the way I used to plan around family dinners. I would think about what I was going to wear. I would leave the house a little early. Sometimes I would bring sweetbread from the bakery if I had a few extra dollars. Not because I had to, because I wanted to arrive carrying something again, but this time I was not carrying it into a room where I felt judged. I was carrying it into a room where it would be received. I also started going to church more regularly. Some Sundays, instead of waiting for a family text, I went where I knew people would shake my hand, say my name, ask how I was doing, and actually wait for the answer. It did not take the loneliness away, but it kept it from swallowing the whole week. And the strange thing is, once I stopped putting every need on my children, I got calmer with them. I was less desperate when I asked for help, less wounded if they were busy, more clear. There was one afternoon after Story Circle when I came home, heated up leftover caldo and sat with the album open on my table. The TV was off, the room was quiet, not empty, quiet, and I thought, different from the one I imagined, smaller in some ways, but still a life. That thought gave me more peace than any apology I have gotten from my children. Some nights are still hard. Some days my phone is still too quiet. Some dinners still make me feel old in the wrong way. But I am not only waiting anymore. That is the difference. And there is one more thing. I don't need my children to become different people overnight for me to keep living my life. That took me a long time to understand, because for years I think I was waiting for a scene. Some big turning point, some moment when somebody finally understood me all at once. Life has not given me that. What it has given me is smaller than that, and maybe more useful. A room where I can speak. A woman who says my name right. A text where I ask clearly. A sentence where I do not disappear. A bowl of soup I am not ashamed of anymore. It is not everything, but it is enough to keep going.
What pushed back against that belief first?
A clinic. A few days later, regular appointment, blood pressure, medication, paperwork. My daughter didn't take me. I took the bus. I had my folder with me. Forms, insurance cards, all that paper that can make you feel old and stupid in 10 seconds. I sat in the waiting room with the folder open on my lap. And the receptionist looked up and said, "Buenos dias, señora." Then she said my name right. Ana. Not Anna. Ana. Like my mother used to say it. My shoulders dropped. That's what I remember most, my shoulders dropping. Then she saw the forms and asked if I wanted help. My first instinct was still no. No, I'm fine, I'll figure it out. But something in me was tired of hearing myself say that, so I said yes, please. She helped me for maybe 2 minutes, that's all. She pointed, she explained, she didn't rush, she didn't sigh. And sitting there, I had this thought I didn't like. I think I've been asking one place to be everything for me. The ride, the forms, the comfort, all of it. And maybe that's why it hurts so bad when that one place fails me. Maybe getting help and feeling seen, those are not always the same thing. There was another older woman in that waiting room that day. I remember her because she was holding her purse with both hands and staring at the floor. She spoke Spanish too. I could hear it when she answered her phone. Very soft, very fast. And I remember thinking, she looks like she has apologized all morning. That thought stayed with me because I recognized her, not her face, her posture, that way of trying to become smaller while still getting through the day. And when the receptionist helped me, I had this strange feeling for a second. Relief, yes, but also grief. Grief for how many times I had left places like that, feeling ashamed, when maybe what I needed was just a person who would slow down and not make my confusion feel like a burden. I think that was part of the shift too. Not just, my children can't be everything, but also, there are other kinds of help in the world. Help that does not insult you. Help that just says, here, let me make this part easier. That may sound small to somebody younger. To me, it did not feel small. It felt like the difference between being processed and being treated like a person. Then a nurse heard me speaking Spanish and said, "I love your accent. It reminds me of my mother." I almost cried right there. Because in my house, my accent had become something people corrected. And in that room, for 1 second, it sounded like home to somebody. I didn't leave that clinic transformed. I left confused, a little relieved, a little angry, a little ashamed that such a small kindness could undo me so much. But I did leave thinking, maybe my accent is not the problem. Maybe it is proof that I came from somewhere and kept going. And once that thought gets in, even a little, shame starts losing its grip. And that was new for me too. Not hope exactly, not yet, but a crack. Just enough to let some air in. I think that was the first time in a long time I understood something about myself that I had been avoiding. I was not only lonely, I was waiting. Waiting for the right person to notice. Waiting for the right child to ask the right question. Waiting for somebody in my family to say, "Sit down, Mom. Start at the beginning. Tell me the whole thing." And because I was waiting for that, I had made everything heavier. Every late text felt bigger. Every rushed answer felt meaner. Every small kindness felt too small because it was being compared to something I had secretly wanted for years. That was hard to admit. Because part of me still wanted to believe that if I kept loving the same way, if I kept showing up, if I kept making the food and staying easy and not asking for too much, eventually somebody would understand without me having to say it. But sitting there in that clinic with a stranger saying my name right and helping me with a form, I had this thought that maybe being understood does not always arrive in the room you expected. Maybe sometimes it shows up somewhere smaller first, somewhere humbler, somewhere that does not fix your life, but reminds you that you are still a person inside it. That did not make me less sad, but it made me less trapped.
If you had to carry 3 words into the rest of your life, what would they be?
Honor, ask, belong. Honor means I stop acting embarrassed by my own life. I stop treating my story like something people have to tolerate. I stop hiding my photos in the closet. I make my soup and I don't feel ashamed of the smell. I remember that I came from somewhere and that somewhere still lives in me. Ask means I stop hoping people guess. I ask for what is real. Can you help with this form? Can you call me Sunday? Can you take me next week if you can? And if the answer is no, I do not break in half. I look for another bridge. Belong means I stop waiting for one table to save me. I build more than one table. The center, church, a neighbor, my roommate. A room where my voice does not need permission before it matters. And even in my family, I take up more honest space than I used to. Not loud space, just space that says I am still here.
A family can love you and still not know how to hold you. That is painful, but it is not the same thing as your life having less value. And I want to say something to the older parents watching, especially the immigrant parents, especially the ones with the TV on tonight, just to make the room feel less empty. Your story is not too much. Your accent is not a flaw. Your history does not become less sacred because somebody at the table does not know how to hear it. And if you are an adult child watching, here is one thing that matters more than you think. Let your parent finish one sentence. Ask one real question. What was it like for you? Anna, I want to say your own line back to you. Your story is not depressing.
No, it's not. It's the reason we're here. And I still make the soup. I still leave the album out sometimes. That's enough for now.
And for anyone watching, I want to leave you with one simple question. Some families still take your help, but don't know what to do with your history. Have your children ever needed your help, but not your story? One sentence is enough.
And if your heart hurt listening today, you are not the only one.
You are not the only one. I'll see you next time.